Welcome back. The Trouble in Paradise case is what's trending in true crime this morning as the wife of the Maui doctor, Gerhardt Konig, has dropped her request for a temporary restraining order.
For those reasons, my client believes that the TRO at this time is not necessary to prevent further harm because he's being held without bail and there's no possibility of release at this time. And so we reached an agreement that this TRO proceeding will be dismissed without prejudice, subject to further refiling if his custody status changes at any time.
So on Friday, Gerhardt Konig appeared in front of a judge along with her attorney to request the dismissal of the temporary restraining order that she initially requested. So she filed this against her husband after he allegedly tried to kill her by pushing her off a cliff. Now, her attorney told the court that this was no longer necessary because the doctor's in jail being held without any bond. So the judge, of course, approved that request. No objection from Gerhardt Konig's attorney. After the hearing, Gerhardt Konig's attorney described her decision to the reporters who were gathered there covering the hearing, while also revealing his client's intentions if the case makes it to trial. Take a listen.
Because of the ongoing media coverage and having to testify for the grand jury, she's made statements to police, and so she just wants to get back to some semblance of her normal life. So having to go through another proceeding at this time, which is at this point unnecessary, didn't make much sense for her. If he goes to trial, she absolutely will be testifying in trial. Yes, but we anticipate that the trial will likely be continued. And just to be clear, she's not rescinding her allegations. She's not dropping her allegations. This was a procedural reason why we dropped this, why the TRO was dismissed, only because of the custody status.
So the question we have for our power panel this morning: what's your reaction to Gerhardt Konig wanting to testify in this case against her husband if he decides to take it to trial? I want to bring in two brilliant ladies. Both of them have expertise in the area of domestic violence. Attorney Melba Pearson and former police officer Claudia King. Good morning to you both. All right, so your reactions. First thing you thought when you heard this alleged victim wants to come to court, wants to testify against her alleged batterer. Melba, would you start us off, please?
Good morning, ladies. And my first thought was, bravo, and I hope she has the support she needs. So it shows to me that she has come, I guess, a good way in her healing, and she feels that strong enough to be able to confront him and really, point the finger and be like, you tried to kill me. Like, this wasn't an accident. This wasn't, anything else. You tried to kill me. And I think it's going to be so powerful for the jury to hear her and to hear her story. But again, I do always make sure to have concern as to whether or not she has enough of a support system, because again, this is a traumatizing event and testifying can be traumatizing as well.
Oh, great points, Melba. Thank you. Claudia, your initial reaction, please, when you heard about this.
I echo Melba's bravo to her, because we see so many victims who do change their mind after a violent attack or incident. They end up dropping charges or saying they don't want to testify, and they end up getting back together with the abuser. So I was really excited to hear that she is ready to testify. She has gone through a lot in a short period of time. She apparently has identified some escalation in his behavior. So I think it is wonderful. And I also echo Melba's thoughts that I hope she has the support system that she needs, because this is not going to be easier anytime soon. It's going to be more difficult until she can get through this process and then hopefully begin her healing.
Right, right, Claudia. Yeah, I love that point as well. The incident may be over, but this point in her life is far, far from over. When we think about what this decision from her, this very strong, courageous, I have so much admiration for this woman, this very brave decision to say, you know what, I'm going to stand up, I'm going to give my testimony, I'm going to come to court. What might that do to the defendant in terms of his next move? Melba, I'd love to ask you your thoughts on that, please.
Well, it definitely changes the complexion, of the defense case, because now they know that they have a cooperative victim. They know that that person's going to be able to give direct testimony as to what happened, as well as the background, including the escalation, including all of the warning signs she may have inadvertently missed. And so it's going to strengthen the prosecution's case, tenfold. So the question is he going to want to confront her in court, or is he going to want to take a plea? And that's going to be basically the question for him.
Right, Melba. Yeah, the first thing I thought of, I wonder if this will mean he may want to plead. We know he's legally cloaked in the presumption of innocence. We just know that these are bad facts with two independent witnesses who made a 911 call to save her life. So we've got corroboration here, as you both know, not just the alleged victim's testimony, but independent people who would have no reason to come to court and lie. Yeah, he's got a very weighty decision to make. Claudia, tell me, in terms of that support system, if we could go back to that, ideally, what would you say ideally for Ariel Konig? What would be the things you would want her to have as she begins this healing journey?
Well, the first thing I think is what her attorney talked about, and that was reducing the number of times that she has to go to court and tell this horrific story. So I do think it was a great idea to let the TRO go at this point, because it's unnecessary legally based on his current status. But in addition to that, I really hope that she's starting some kind of therapy. She really needs to be able to talk this out with an independent party, talk through how she's feeling. If she is feeling guilt because, did I miss something? What did I do wrong? How did I cause this? She needs to be able to talk through that. And then hopefully she's got some strong family and friends to surround her, because even in court, he may try to give her a look or a glance, or try to get in touch with her some other way, even if he's not supposed to try to convince her to let all this go and that he loves her. So hopefully she has that family and friend support around her to tell her that, yes, you are making the right decision, you're doing the right thing, stay strong, and we're going to get through this together.
Oh, excellent advice, Claudia. Thank you. I want to dovetail off of something you said, how in domestic violence situations, a batterer could control a victim with something seemingly as insignificant as a glance, a certain glance or a certain movement. Melba, would you speak to the pressures prosecutors have when you have to consider two people, right? You're considering what you want to do, with your defendant, and also whether you have a cooperative victim, whether there needs to be any convincing, how to protect your victim. Would you kind of speak to how you watch out for certain threatening signals?
Yeah, and that's always a tough one, because again, those signals look different from relationship to relationship. So what may have worked with a prior, a victim, a prior survivor in the last case may be completely different with completely different triggers in the instant case. So you need to have a very close and open relationship and discussion with your survivor on a regular basis. You need to engage with your victim advocates in your office to make sure that they're getting the support they need. If they're getting a phone call, an email, a text message, maybe not from the defendant, but his family members or something like that, you've got to have that open communication that they feel comfortable and safe to be able to disclose that they're being threatened. And even the day of, if you can, you sit next to them, you have your team members sit next to them so they always feel protected. And once that relationship has developed over time, if the defendant is giving that look that starts to trigger the victim, at least there's someone there to be like, hey, listen, we got you. I mean, I've had instances where doing victims' rights work where literally the survivor started shaking and crying at the sight of the defendant. And you have to know just kind of how to talk them down and calm them and let them know they're now in a safe situation and that this is not going to cost them their lives.
Right. Melba, everything you're saying, it was just like getting all the feelings, like the chills, what that's like. Because, for anybody who hasn't been there, and I hope nobody has to go, I mean, criminal court is awkward, uncomfortable, and you're very close in proximity. And so for victims who've been badly beaten, or, in this case, this woman who, this is an attempted homicide that prosecutors have here, where she was seconds from her life being ended, according to her testimony and the testimony of these other witnesses. and then they've got to come face to face with that person who, like, and be feet from them. It's incredibly traumatizing. You both are so understanding of it and have done such great work for survivors of domestic violence. Thank you both for your insight and what you do in the prevention movement.